So two very big celebrities, Lizzo and Cardi B, are making headlines this week. First, Lizzo, whose real name is Melissa Jefferson, issued a statement this morning after she was sued by 3 former dancers for alleged sexual harassment and allegedly creating a hostile work environment. The civil suit was filed Tuesday in Los Angeles County Superior Court, and the accusers are claiming that Lizzo pressured one of them to engage with nude performers at a club in Amsterdam and shamed another dancer for her weight gain before firing her. The suit also alleges racial harassment, disability discrimination, assault, and false imprisonment. This morning, Lizzo addressed the lawsuits for the very first time, saying she's hurt, saying in part, quote, "These last few days have been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing. My work ethic, morals, and respectfulness have been questioned. Usually I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are as unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous to not be addressed," end quote. Now, these plaintiffs are seeking unspecified damages from Lizzo and from her production company, Big Girl Big Touring Incorporated, and from Charlene Quigley, who is the captain of the performers' dance team. Now, to rapper Cardi B, police in Las Vegas are investigating a complaint from a concert goer that claims she was hit by a microphone thrown from the stage last Saturday. Police don't mention Cardi B in their report, but here's a look at an incident. Ooh, so this reportedly happened after a fan threw water on the performer. And there are reports that Cardi B and her DJ had asked the crowd to splash water on her because of the heat. So far, no arrests have been made, and this is not the only mic throwing incident involving the rapper. Another one was caught on video that same day at a nightclub. Now, fans say Cardi B was getting frustrated with the DJ after he kept cutting off her songs and threw her mic at him before walking off the stage. Oh, boy. Okay. Let's bring in our guest now. Trial attorney C.K. Hoffler does a lot of civil work. This is very much in your wheelhouse, my friend. Let's start with Cardi B, shall we? Is she looking at some liability here, criminally and civilly, potentially?
I think she's definitely looking at civil liability. The criminal liability, assault and battery, I mean, if she hit someone with the microphone, as it appears that she did, then she could be facing criminal charges. They're not going to be, major criminal charges, but she could be facing criminal charges. But the greater exposure for her personally are the civil charges, because I could see, particularly if someone has been injured, where they would file a civil lawsuit against her and against the establishment where it happened. Certainly in the club, the second incident where she threw the microphone at the DJ, I don't know if she hit the DJ or if she hit anyone, but certainly she could be facing civil liability for that act. And similarly at the concert, I could see where if she did hit one of her, if it wasn't part of the act, like, sometimes these performers, they have an act and they have people in the audience who are part of the act. Assuming that that was not the case, and I think she could be facing civil charges in that case as well. So both possibly criminal, but the bigger concern would be the civil charges against Cardi B.
Oh, definitely. CK, thank you. Now to Lizzo. Tell us, please, what are the most important things we in the public who are interested in her case ought to be thinking about with these allegations that are terrible and wide-ranging, too, might I add. And then, of course, her issuing her response that she is very hurt that these would even be brought. What should we be thinking about, CK?
We should be thinking that we need to wait and see what this case is about and the evidence that unfolds. Whenever you've got entertainers that are high profile, that are doing very well, and that are message entertainers. Lizzo, I would say, is a message entertainer. She stands for social justice on some level because she has empowered women to feel great about their bodies, no matter their size. She's part of a movement, I think, that she's created. And whenever you have someone who's in that kind of spotlight, there are always going to be detractors. That does not take away from what could be legitimate workplace issues. If some of the allegations are true, then she has very significant civil exposure. And I say that because these are workplace issues on the job. Women who are working, this is a grueling line of business when you're a backup dancer. I don't know what's true and what's not true, and that's what the evidence is going to have to unfold. They're going to have, and they probably are having, an investigation into these allegations. Mm-hmm. So, but if they are true, it will, I think, in my impression, completely dismantle her career because she stands for the exact opposite. She has done so much for women, many women, women of color, and just women, period, and loving yourself. I mean, her whole persona stands for positivity, and yet behind the scenes, if these allegations are true, it would be really the exact opposite, the polar opposite of what she stands for. So, Julie, I think this is very serious. We need to watch this carefully. We need to give her the breath and the space like every other accused defendant, and recognize whether they're criminal charges, which I think it's more going to be civil, that you are innocent, that, someone has to prove a case, and they may not be able to prove a case. So we don't, when you are a high profile person, people can file a suit against you for any reason or no reason or some reason if they want to. And I'm not diminishing the significance of these claims. If they are true, it is very serious. And I pray that they are not true. But if they are, and if these women were subjected to this, then I think it is very serious. But I am not willing to convict or condemn anyone on any case based on any allegations, because we know that these types of allegations are made often. Sometimes they're false, and sometimes, unfortunately, they are true.
Beautifully said, CK. And that's really great advice you're giving us, something we should all keep in mind, not just for these cases, but any case. Reserve judgment. Reserve judgment until we wait and see what the evidence shows, because you're right. And I want anybody at home who's watching this who has ever been sued and gotten scared to know, just like CK said, anybody can file a civil lawsuit, but whether it has merit is a whole nother story. So that being said, we'll put a pin in this for now, but of course, any developments we learn of, if there's any kind of countersuit or anything like that, you'll hear about it here on your front row seat to justice.